From the Woodshed, a casual conversation with Chase Morrill and Ryan Eldridge from Kennebec Cabin Company, the team that inspired the hit show Maine Cabin Masters. From the Woodshed is brought to you by Nelma. See the stamp, trust the quality. By Hero Media Arts, connecting small business with new customers. And by Hammond Lumber, your building project partner. Now, from the Woodshed Studios at KCC headquarters in Manchester, Maine, it's Chase and Ryan.
From the Woodshed, I'm Chase Morrill. With me, as always, Ryan Eldridge.
Hey, guys.
And Maggie Morrill.
Hello.
Our guests today are Matt Scott and Jeff Myers from Dave's World. They'll be joining us a little bit later, but you can find us at KennebecCabinCompany.com, MaineCabinMasters.com, our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok channel, and always YouTube channel. Check out our online store, shop.KennebecCabinCompany.com. We always want to thank our sponsors, Hammond Lumber Company, the official building materials supplier of Kennebec Cabin Company, Nelma, Northeast Lumber Manufacturing Association, Hero Media Network, and Kennebec Savings Bank. I feel like I can just talk, because
we've been talking a lot.
All
lately.
Ryan and I have been doing all day.
We are in the middle of repacks right now. Round 2 of repacks. So that means there's more episodes coming.
There's more episodes airing sometime this summer.
Yeah.
Today
was fun, though.
Yeah. It was a throwback for sure to season 1.
It was crazy.
Holy moly.
The best thing, though, is seeing the kids.
Yeah. You were so little, Maggie.
I remember,
That's how time works.
So little. I mean, at one point, the Buck and A, Fletcher was too young to even be there the first day.
Yeah.
It was just you girls doing demo. Mousy Brokey.
Yeah. Micey's a Grossies. You had a gravelly little voice.
I was like in 4th grade.
Yeah.
And your dad and I are sitting at the one of the camps we did, and I'm looking, goes, we're scared of her now. She's our boss. she puts us in our place.
Yeah. If you had told any of us at that point where you would be sitting here right now, I don't think any of us would have believed it.
But, it's like, I can't remember all the cabins. I can't remember the name of the cabins. But then you see a little bit, and then the memories just come flooding back.
Yeah, it's true. And the memories from season 1, are super strongest in my mind, at least. You know, when you flash back, it's like, I guess that is where we always go to, which is interesting.
Well, one thing I was proud of, we stuck to our roots.
Yeah.
Well,
some of our roots have gotten a little bit grayer than
oh yeah.
You had a black beard.
Ashley, if you're watching, see, I was not lying about these gray hairs after getting all my morals.
It really was.
It was.
But you had a good vacation?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was a great vacation, and the serendipitous life we went down and had dinner with some Daggetts.
Yes.
Yep. Paul and Paige,
yes.
Tom's kids, and you and Ashley's good friends growing up. And I was really excited just to sit down with them and just tell them, about Tom and how excited I was to bring Tom in, because I think we're all been blown away by how great it looks downstairs.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone just believed it could. Jen just saw it. Pretty amazing, isn't it?
It's incredible. Yeah.
And if you guys haven't heard, our listeners are seeing, you got to come in. A lot of things are changing.
Yeah.
But it was just awesome to tell him how proud he is of us and how it's changed, and people all over the world come to this place, and they grew up here going to Christmas and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Pretty weird.
It is.
And it's funny. So we're talking about all that. I'm like, oh yeah, your dad, he's always here, and he's got his iPad still. And do you think can you send us some pictures? He doesn't send us any pictures. And we were talking about that today, how he had his his iPad everywhere.
Yeah.
And that was fun. We went to Benjamin Moore.
How was that?
That was pretty cool. We went to their worldwide headquarters. Toward that, first thing right off the bat, they have a cafeteria with a chef. They buy lunch for all their employees. I mean, brilliant. Think about, there's probably a couple hundred people in there. That's gonna pay for itself. And then the lab was called in Flanders, and that was out of town an hour. So everyone we talked to, how's it going? You going to Flanders? So Flanders was the big thing.
Yeah.
But we met with the head of the design team and colors team, and she kind of showed us how they forecast what colors are coming up, and it was pretty neat because they had I'm not really into that, but I kind of got it when she was telling us about it. You looked at the color palettes of the year for the last 20 years, and it's kind of literally what they're vibing, what they're thinking. They kind of a little bit of fashion shows in Europe and this, but you could see it in the pandemic. The colors got kind of muted, and then this year they're getting bright again. And it kind of did follow 2007, you could see an 8 when the economy was a little messed up. Like,
Yeah.
and it was neat to see that and how much that like influences.
Interesting.
Yeah. And they have 3,500 colors these days.
Uh-huh.
They don't really make many new colors, but I was really wanting to see about the science of it, because paint is one of those things you can get a $30 gallon of paint, or you can get an $80 gallon of paint, and you get what you pay for.
Sure.
This lab was crazy. There's this one lab, the polymer lab, was all PhDs, and I mean it was just so neat, and they had like test areas and these crazy machines, and so when you make paint and something to do with like the viscosity and the smoothness and how it works being a liquid, there's only so many compounds. Say there's only like 16 compounds to make it. You can't change those. So when you're trying to make a paint different, you have to mix and match.
Chase Thomas.
These last one, the
Don't they know it's podcast time?
Wait, what do you mean you can't change that?
the science behind it, you can't add. There's only you're working with a certain set of blocks.
Yeah.
And that's you can take from like one section of it. I'm not saying it like additives, and you can take from the subtractions or the polymers or the additions, but it's the same pieces. So you can't add something else, like the way paint works. So you have to maybe take like a microscopic thing of this and add a little bit of this, and they just go back and forth, and everything has to get tested. And then the cool thing was they had acres and acres of fields that looked like racks set up like solar panels.
Yeah.
And they had stuff there from 30 years ago.
Wow.
And they don't know, it's all blind tested, so they don't know which one's theirs. And they go out there and do all that. And they had us do a blind test, and I was like, oh God. Because Ashley was perfect at it, but I overthink it because I'm like, are they trying to trick me? Am I not going to pick with their stuff? They're going to get mad at me.
Yeah.
But it was really cool to see like the competitors' paint that they tried to mimic, and just the viscosity, and like how first coat went on this way, second coat went on this way, and coverage and stuff. It's pretty neat.
So now you are a certified painter now.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I'll switch back with Jake. I should have sent him down. So I went on the painter's tour, and Jake did the podcasts. How'd he do?
He did very well.
Yeah.
That's for sure. How was the wedding?
The wedding was unbelievable. So we went.
Was there an April Fool's Day prank?
No, I thought there was.
you were
I thought there
certain there was going to be.
Thought there would be, like, so certain. I went down to Ashley's friend, Michael Tardif, our friend. Parents own J.S. McCarthy. We become all friends with the Tardifs before we all hooked up. Dixie and Jedi and I did that insane. One of the most proud things we've done before, besides Cabin Masters, that, and it actually made it into the wedding speech by his grandfather.
Nice.
Yeah, you talk about Mikey living in Augusta.
Yeah.
Open bar 3 days in a row. I mean, and it was nice. I had to wear a suit. Like, luckily I'm not good at packing. I bought one of those shirts. Remember about those 2 nice shirts in Norway?
Don't say Dickie.
No, I bought one of those shirts. I wore it every day.
Hey,
it's kind of like when I used to go on tour and not change my shorts. But it was really nice. It was fun. And what's cool is I talked to Michael's grandfather on Sunday, and he's a Pat now, French Canadian, and I talking to him because they built the camp in Emery's Grove, and everyone across the United States wants the camp done. Like,
right.
I said, Ashley, no pictures during the wedding. It's not right. It's their day. I said that like before we got there. Like, there's only been a couple times in my life I was like, no pitch. I don't feel right. First day we get there, the welcome party, Michael's husband Josh's family's like grabbing us selfies, towers, spinning us. I'm like, oh, that's out of the way. But anyway, so I was talking to his grandfather, and it's pretty neat because he's telling about like he built the camp in Emery's Grove, and telling my grandfather having the store on the Pond Road, and on Sand Hill, and he actually knew my grandfather. It's the first time I would talk to someone like he's like, oh, like Napoleon.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's very awesome. Excellent.
A lot of little history around here.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you guys miss me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely. And cherry blossoms were in bloom?
Yeah, but the wind had taken most of them out, but we found some little enclaves that the wind didn't get, so it was fun. Then we hit the National History Museum, which was awesome, and then zipped up to Yankee Stadium and came home.
Man, that is a whirlwind.
My back was still bothering me a little bit, so it's like we went down. It was 6 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. That was fine. I was like, started thinking about a 10-hour ride home. Like, no. So I looked at first. Phillies weren't playing, and then first I looked at Nationals. They weren't playing at their stadium, which I want to check out. Phillies weren't playing. They were playing in New York. So I would check the Mets before I checked. Yankees were last. But I went to Yankee Stadium. It was pretty awesome.
Nice.
I got a new favorite pitcher, Nasty Nestor. So he looks like Mario and Luigi, and he has a little mustache like that. All the kids, they give him these mustaches out. So everyone was like Mario and Luigi. It was awesome.
The new Mario and Luigi movie's out right now. Have you
Right?
seen it, Maggie?
What? No.
Are you guys going to the movies tonight?
No, we're going to a play.
Oh, what's the play?
Clue at Gardner.
Oh, it's at Gardner?
You just made my day.
I didn't know that.
Going with a sophisticated. Did you ever think you'd tell your uncle that you're going to a play at Gardner?
It's not my idea.
I think where are these friends of yours? I want to meet them. So yeah, it was a good week, and when we got back though, we did find out that Wild Bill passed away. So that's kind of was a bummer. Yeah, so that was really sad. Great to get to know him. To know that he was a part of the show. Ashley's not doing so well, but she'll come around.
Yep.
So yeah, we're gonna try to do a little tribute to him at some point. But he's in a better place. He was hurting.
Yep.
But as we're walking in, people it's just hard when you hear that. But because he was just here 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
he'd come out with us on his good days. And there was a lot of days he wasn't feeling the best. So.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
This one's for you, Bill.
Yeah.
I'll drink some Allens. Well, guys, so after this, check out this video, last video of the year, and get ready for some new videos next year. And we're back with our guests.
Hi, my name is Ashley Morrill. I am the co-owner of Kennebec Cabin Company, home of the Maine Cabin Masters. We really wanted to be able to connect with our fan base, and we wanted to find a space where we could go and feature all of the artists and craftsmen that I discover through the show. If you see something maybe in one of the episodes of Maine Cabin Masters, you can come into the store and whoop, there it is. We've got a little bit of everything for everybody, and then some. This is our lighting section. You have these beautiful handmade lampshades. I think every camp needs a hammock. I say that a lot. I think I say it on every episode that every camp needs a hammock. So when you first walk in, one of the first things you might recognize is the canoe bookshelf. One of the first projects that Chase and I built together. The little onesies, love those. Those are my favorite, might be my favorite item. The beautiful art by Helene Farrar. She actually is our neighbor next door. We're getting new pieces in weekly. Fastest items to always go are these bat boxes. They can house up to 100 bats, but you probably already knew that if you watched the show. We've got all the pictures of all the cabins that we've done hanging on the walls. We have all the artists and craftsmen that I've worked with throughout the shop. You just really feel like you are, right here with us. So come on in and visit us. We are at 915 Western Ave in beautiful Manchester, Maine. Or you can also find us online at KennebecCabinCompany.com. We look forward to seeing you.
All right, and we are back with our guests, Matt Scott and Jeff Myers from Dave's World. How are you guys?
Excellent.
How's it going, guys? And people might recognize Jeff.
Yes, we've had Jeff on before with Great Northern Docs, but now he's joining us from Dave's World.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
Exciting time. We're glad to have you.
Yeah.
We're glad to have them.
And you brought the good weather up with you.
I always try.
Good.
From southern
We're
Maine.
walking and the sun was shining. It
Good
was getting
weather
warmer.
follows him.
Yes.
Well, before we go on much further, would you guys like a coffee, water, or beer?
I'll take a beer.
Yeah, definitely. We're not on the clock, are we? No.
You're on our clock.
Definitely. Have a beer.
I don't see any clocks in here.
I don't see any clocks.
That's why the windows are all covered over.
Look at that choice.
All right, these are our choices.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, what would you guys like? Chase gets to go last.
Of course.
Take that
Gary's
Allagash.
Baxter,
And Baxter.
Allagash.
Call that Baxter.
Gentlemen, and those glasses are your parting gifts.
I'll take a river trip right there. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is exciting. Chase and I today, we were out. We do the repack, so I'm talking about season 1, and it brought back a bunch of memories and stuff. And, over time, it's like how we've grown. And like we met Jeff through Great Northern Docs, and we were getting a certain point. We started coming to Docs. And, the last couple of years, we've done a lot of heat pumps, or we've set up a lot of heat pumps. So,
Not just us.
no,
Everybody's
Right.
doing heat pumps right
they
now.
They're popular.
but timing couldn't be more perfect.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. That's the first thing most people ask us is that, is there any way to get one of those units that heats and cools down?
Yeah,
And we're like,
magic.
Yeah.
First of all, tell us about Days World before we get going.
Days World, I joined Days World in '06. I had a company before that called Scott's Appliance that I started when I was 18. Got to know
Go getter.
Yeah, go getter. Yeah. And then I met my other two business partners that own Days World, Dave's son Dave and Bob Jankunas, two of my best friends, and we combined forces. And then as soon as I became part of Days World, I found the heat pump, which was, in the very early stages, and it's a joke now because it became Matt's pet project at that time. I threw one in the van. I was a technician back then, and went home, put it in.
Where'd you
And
find it?
I found it at Johnstone Supply, right?
Yeah.
And the owner was like, "Hey, those don't really work in Maine." Like,
Right.
I'm like, "Well, why do you have it on display?"
Contractually obligated.
Yeah, and he said, I'm a national dealer, and they have them, throughout the country. So, but I had to see what it was all about. So I put it in the house, and it blew my mind. And went back to my partners. I was like, I found this thing, this little widget that heats and cools at the same time. And they were like, yeah, that's Matt's pet project. And I went through a winter and a summer with it, and it just
Summer is the best.
it blew my mind. And I said, look, guys, this is not an engineering issue. This is a educational marketing issue. And then that's when my two business partners jumped in with me, and we went after it hard,
Right ahead of everyone else, which is awesome.
way ahead of everyone else. Yeah.
So I've always, I'm a heat pump lover. I love mine, and I love them in the summer more than anything because I hate the humidity.
Yes.
It's the best thing in the world. You come over to my house, and it looks like a Christmas drip. Windows are dripping from all the condensation. But heat pumps have been around for a long time. You look at movies,
Yeah.
like over, in
40
the
years now.
East, and I almost felt like oil and other big business would like keep them away or something.
Oh
for a
yeah,
while.
that's all part of the game.
They've been around
here.
for 78 since the 70s, I think.
Yeah, they actually Japan was like
Yeah.
40 something years ago, and the funny thing about how heat pumps were, how they came about is that in the World War, we cut their supply off for duck material. The whole world did, so they had to come up with this as a necessity. So that's where the invention came in Japan, and ductless came about
Yeah,
because they didn't have
ductless
duck,
heaters.
they didn't have ducted material. So they were like, we have copper, and they connected the indoor and outdoor unit with copper, and that's kind of how it took off there. And then of course it finally crept its way here, and then of course big oil, not good. So it's been this is my opinion here.
Well, you're validating my theory. Okay? 'Cause I've said that before.
Let's just
We're
start-
veering off into conspiracy
Yeah,
land.
right. So in my opinion, yeah, exactly. Wait until this is down here.
But I mean, they are so versatile. We've even seen the technology, since we started, it's just so much better. I think the biggest concern was, how do they work in a Maine winter? Like first of all, a lot of the camps we do are 3 seasons, so that wasn't an issue. It would buy people a month on each end.
Sure.
But I've seen them, through the winter, and I think they're working well, and the technology's only getting better.
That's a huge debate, right, with a lot of people. But they work. That's the thing. They're rated down to -13. They'll go below that. There's several different heat pumps made. There's 17-degree units. There's -5-degree units. There's -5-degree units, and then there's -13-degree units, and then -22 now. So it's all about the refrigerant and when we can flash it off and boil it. So it's going to get better and better and better.
What does that mean? Flash it off and boil it.
So that's how they
It's your
work.
turn.
Yeah. So
Is that not sap and
How-
terms?
That is a sapping term.
how much time do we have? Because we can go.
Don't worry, Maggie will cut us off when
Oh
we
yeah,
get too
the
far,
boss is
so-
over there.
Yeah,
We
keep
can-
going.
we can go down the rabbit hole of how they work, but it's all about transferring heat from one place to another, right? It doesn't create it. So at the boiling point of refrigerant is when it absorbs
Gotcha.
the energy and then transfers it. So going from a liquid to a gas, basic refrigeration. So what we have to do is, this is my favorite way of explaining it. If you want me to,
I'm ready.
Please.
run with it.
Please.
So, there's heat outside unless it's absolute zero. Okay. So absolute zero is -460 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's zero out, there's a lot of heat out there. Not to you. Because,
Right. I'm trying to wrap my head around
You're
this.
9.
I usually, yeah.
On a good day.
So there is heat out there, right? So if it's 0 degrees outside, in all reality, there's 460 degrees of BTUs, right? So we can get this heat pump to flash off at minus 60. So we can absorb all the way down to minus 60.
Interesting.
so that's how
yeah.
Science. Huh?
Yeah, so that's what's really cool is that refrigerant can handle it all the way down there. So we run that compressor, circulate the refrigerant, absorb heat from outside, which there is, right? Because it's not minus 460, and then we move it inside using that compressor. So
I guess everything's relative to how it heats us, not the science of like.
Right.
it's wild stuff, and then it's so simple, right? It's a bicycle. You've got 2 coils, a compressor, some sensors, and it's very, very simple tool. Yeah.
Interesting. So you guys must obviously had to fight that astigmatism, especially in Maine.
Oh,
And
it's been an uphill battle.
I learned, like, talking to Jeff last month ago. I mean, he already educated me because I was always like, oh, they're great, but you have to build a house around them, and the house has to be perfect. And Jeff's you guys saying that's not necessarily true. There's applications for it's still efficient.
Yeah, that's Jeff's team's job, is to go out there and look at the envelope, okay, and then this is what we can do with it. This is what we can't do with it, right? Because there is that line, right? So with a brand new home, we have to size it correctly. We have to look at the heat loss. With retrofits, like you guys are doing most of the time, there's a lot of questions to ask. So it's not just as simple as going to put in the most common model number, right?
Yeah.
So we have to ask a lot of questions. We have to find what works right for that client. But that's what we specialize in, and we've got now 18 years or so figuring it out, because there's a lot to learn on that process.
Of course,
and,
of course.
But I feel as though that we're good guides, and we're not there to make a sale every time, right? Because there are some places we walk into, be like, you have so much to do before we can put a heat pump in here. So I think it's about having that honest conversation with the client. Yeah.
So where are you guys located, and what areas of the state do you guys service?
We service everywhere, but we have an
State
office
of
in Dover, Foxcroft,
Just like us.
Ellsworth, Scarborough, and Wyndham. Those are the 4 locations.
Dover, Foxcroft. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Let's see how
But
far
we're
we can
trying-
send them this
we're-
summer.
But we're trying to get here. So the Waterville, Augusta, Manchester area, we can't find real estate. So maybe we can talk to you guys about building us a
Yeah, jeez.
Days World heat pump
Yes.
cabin, maybe.
Yeah.
Make it like a whole production,
Right?
Of it.
Yeah.
In your spare time.
Yeah.
we want-
yeah.
We want 7 to 10 stores in Maine.
Yeah.
Is what retail locations. It's slow going out there. Trying to
So you guys have a master plan. That's exciting.
we do
cover the state more
Yeah.
efficiently.
Yes, because right now there's a lot of companies, smaller companies that install heat pumps, but what happens is that you can put a lot of them in, but then that service comes into play, and that's really what it's about. You can make some pretty good money on that first,
Yeah.
but a lot of times those, we call them chucks in a truck. They'll
Right.
Yeah.
They make their money, then they're gone.
and they're
when-
gone.
when
So
something
we're
happens.
really trying to focus on that service and that, and that continuity with the client for a very long time.
Now, are you guys strictly just heat pumps these days?
Yeah, we are.
That's amazing. That's
We
awesome.
sold everything else. We did a lot. We were doing, appliances and kitchen and bath and flooring and Radio Shack and US Cellular, and we had, we sold Dish Network and
Yeah.
all that. And then once we started
Yeah.
rolling with this, we were like, what happens if we could really focus on this one thing? And then this is I think the magic, and you guys can understand this, is that you can't do it without good people.
We know that.
Right?
Absolutely.
So there's 3 owners. We have 2 regional managers and 4 location managers. And that store was suffering until you can get someone like Jeff. And Jeff had all this experience. And then we knew, I bought my doc too from Nick Moore, which I think you guys know,
Yeah.
that worked for Jeff. And
Nick works
that's
for us now, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
so I met Nick that was working for Jeff. Okay, this is a good little story if you don't mind if I just
No.
expand on
Yeah.
that. So they're putting in my dock. Nick comes, he sells it to me. He comes in, he jumps in the water freezing cold and just gets that thing done. And I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, we've seen that done many
Right?
times.
So I'm sitting, and I went to go help him, and he was like, no, I don't need your help. And I was like, so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, hey, Nick, I want you to work with me.
Smart.
And this is 4 years prior. And he's like, oh, I'm happy, and I got the side business, and I'm great. I'm working with. He was working with Jeff, and I've got a good boss. And I was like, no, I'm just planting a seed. Just, 4 years later, he called me up. And he's like, hey, so about that. And then he's a rock star. Nick is it's just an absolute rock star. And I knew it. And then I was like, who trained this guy? And
it's Jeff.
There you go.
Then we went head hunting.
Well, it is hard to get good employees in Maine,
very
and
difficult.
you got to retain them. But these Nick and Jeff are like, we talked at Read and Read last week, and one thing I like to reiterate is, listen, we don't care about the piece of paper you have. If you have a work ethic, strong will to work, and a personality, you can go far. And these guys have all that, and they're smart.
You got to be able to connect.
But the personality to me is big, and people need to know that. Communicate what you know.
Have you been working on yours? Because you got a good one.
I've been working on it too.
He's been honing it for a while.
That's all I got, so I got to work it.
But speaking of, the trades and all that, what is the path that somebody would take to get into the heat pump? Whether it's servicing, that, sales, that type of stuff.
It's a good question. There's a lot of schools like NTI, they're training, but in all reality, it's very difficult to come out of one of those classes. You have basic understanding of refrigeration. But we love hardworking guys because we can train you. We can put you on a van for a year. The most interesting, I would say, the person that has the best springboard, I guess, for learning the trade is carpenters. People that understand the building, that can drill holes, run, and connect.
Yep.
You know what I mean? How do we connect these pipes? Well, you have to run it through sills and up through walls. And so that carpenter mindset is the best one I have. So anyone out there listening that wants to switch trades and come to Dave's World,
stay away from our crew.
Except for anyone.
But you're right. You touch on a lot of the trades: carpentry, electrical, plumbing.
Yeah. Hardworking Mainers. And that's the thing, is that we have a 30, 60, 90-day policy. If you're not willing to work hard in the weather and climb ladders and crawl and just that grit, we look for that grit. And if you can't do that, then you just can't make it. And just as you guys know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
a fair trial.
If it's cold out, you guys just hang up here just do podcasts all day.
Yeah, we sit there.
Sorry guys, we gotta leave early. We got a podcast.
It's below 25 degrees. Yeah. So.
Now, Jeff, was it a big, steep learning curve, big jump from docks to heat pumps?
Yeah, and I'm still learning every day. The great part of my knowledge was the managing people.
Yeah, right.
That's what's helped to
bring
the office around. I was able to fix a few things there and get things on the right track. But
nice.
Still learning the heat pumps every day. But managing the people, that goes with you everywhere. So that's the great part of.
I mean, he can tap into. That's what's so cool about our relationship, is that it's so fluid. Mm-hmm. So in 2 seconds, he can text me with using technology and be like, "Hey, what's up?" And we communicate so very well. And he's got a good regional manager, Shane Kluke. He ran VIP, all 10 of them. So he has that. He has that experience. Up north, we have Daniel Marden, part of the Marden family. He ran all those Mardens. Yeah. So it's just like it's getting those people. And we're in the people business, right? We're not in the heat pump business. We're in the people business. Right. And it was so refreshing to get him because of that knowledge.
And you guys believe in your product, which is huge.
A little bit.
Are you guys kind of like, I feel like your product has a certain demographic, kind of like maybe people that are a little bit older, you might take a little harder to sell them, So like.
Or train them to learn it if it's anything like my mother and her cell phone.
Right. So how do you guys go after those different demographics?
So at first, we'll go back a little bit, because the demographic was everybody at the beginning, right?
True.
So once you tap through that, then we can work on that question. But what we did with people is we said, hey, look, it's magic, right? It's hard to sell magic because it kind of is, right?
Right.
We're absorbing heat and moving it. We're not creating it. So it's like, okay, So we did a 1-year money back guarantee. You try it out 1 summer, 1 winter. And then as we gained traction and our competition started doing that, I'm like, all right, 2 years. Like, we'll give you 2 winters, 2 summers. Let it prove to you that it works. If not, we gave them back the exact dollar amount that they gave us If it was $10,000, $10,000 back to you. It happened 7 times.
Wow.
So that was more like, I can't pay my taxes or something, you know, I think. But now, back to your question, is that we just spend time with them.
Yep.
And there's enough people out there, there's enough family members that say, listen, Nanny, you need one of these, right? You're going to be more comfortable. And like, okay, our team, Jeff's team, goes out there, installs it, spends all the time they need to show them how to operate. And then, of course, because we're bricks and mortar, and we have a phone number, 1-800-HEAT-PUMP, then they can call 1-800-HEAT-PUMP, and then somebody will answer the phone, and somebody will tell them how to use it or answer that question. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Good customer service all around.
yes.
And like
That's key.
like these people that have the camps, like what they're always trying to get, like I said, 1 month on each end.
Yep.
You know, and so
Perfect.
it's worth at least having you guys come out and
Yeah.
to do it. And like when I built my new house, I've all been at heat pumps for a long time. So my house only has 2 heat pumps, like 4 tons with 2 units, and radiant floors, and that's it. And it's a big house. I got like R40 walls, R60s.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
And I put it in the winter, but I never thought about the summer. And as people know, I sweat and I hate humidity. I mean, in the summer, it was just so amazing. Like,
Isn't it? Because
it really is.
Because you can set it. This is what's magic about the summer is that you can set it at 74 degrees, 76 degrees. That humidity, that difference. So a lot of people don't want these window rattlers because it's actually cools too much. And then you're like walking from outside, being outside all day, and then it's all of a sudden you're cold. But if you set it at 74, 76, remove that humidity, which is like 3.3 pints an hour, which is 6
nice and
gallons a
dry.
day. So you remove 6 gallons of water out of your house a day. You walk in, it's comfortable, and you can go home and after you've been outside and doing all the work.
Sit there
right?
and be happy. Oh, all the
Yeah,
work.
doing all,
Pushing that pencil these days.
so yeah, they're good in that way. Yeah.
We've seen more and more as the last couple seasons. More and more people are asking about them. And
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I'm a little bummed out that you guys didn't call me on John Fishman's camp.
I know.
I'm
Sorry.
a little upset about that one. I wanted to be that guy.
Ryan was holding that pretty
Was
close
he?
to his
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
He barely let us onto the job. I'll be honest with you.
And Matt, when I saw you in the hallway, you just reminded me we met in Mexico a couple years ago.
Yes, I met you guys on the beach at Mexico. My neighbor was like, "Do you know the cabin master guys are here?" And I was like, "Cool." He's like, "Come down. I'll introduce you. You're from Maine. They'll know you." Right. And then he's like, "Here, meet my friend Matt."
And we did it. We know each other now.
Yeah,
So it's a small world.
Perfect.
Good help being from
So, solar is also becoming extremely popular in the state. Heat pumps kind of go hand in hand with solar as well. Just, that whole green energy and efficiency, all of that stuff. Do you find that it's more, do you get a lot of those combinations, or is it just?
I think that's where we're going to evolve.
Yep.
But right now,
It's
we're,
just
we're
everywhere.
drinking out of fire hose, right?
Yeah.
So we like to stay in our lane. Like we really want to get good at something.
Yep.
I think that the solar people out there are doing the same. I think what's going to happen is we're going to work closer and closer with them, and we're going to have a partnership.
Yep.
If that doesn't happen, then we'll definitely, add that to our quiver. But although we're several years into this, we're still like, holy smokes, we've got 90 people. We got 92 people now.
Wow.
75 vans on the road. So it's like, and then
Congrats. That's amazing.
and then like just imagine how much he has to keep track of out of his store. He's got what 20
people with
20
an electrician.
And how much more business he's going to bring with you, because you bring all your people know you from your last career. People are going to follow you. We had an eye on where you were going. Like, you made an impact on us, and
Yeah.
that says something.
It must. I mean, I saw you guys on a beach and I didn't get invited here. Jeff gets me in here like that.
You haven't seen me on the beach before.
So there's that.
That's right. That's right. Nice. Maggie has a few, if we haven't already asked them.
I don't know. I don't have a paper in front of me.
Oh, here.
All right, we have some
So-
fan.
I was holding back on my questions, but Maggie has a
Maggie
few.
has the good ones, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. This one is from Tim Wright. On average, how long do heat pumps that are used full time last before needing to be replaced?
It's a good question. So anyone that golfs at the Auburn Golf Club. There's one of the originals there. It's still running. It's like 35 years old. It's like it's got the wood grain on the front of it. They are built to last. Same furnace, 20, 25 years, depends on, maintenance. A lot of that has a lot to do with it. So 20 to 25 years, but what's happening is that the technology keeps gaining.
Yeah.
So people that have a -5-degree unit, they're like, wait a minute, there's a -13-degree unit. Can I trade that in? We trade them in, we swap them, then we donate the old
Is that
one.
easy to do?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's
Because
because your holes and everything are there. It just takes not twice as long because we remove the old one and then put the new one in.
Sure.
But 20 years all easy. This is what's the manufacturer gives it a 12-year warranty, so they know. Think about a car, a $75,000 truck. What's your warranty on that?
right.
6 months.
You buy it.
As soon as you drive off the lot.
You buy a $7,000 heat pump and it comes with a 12-year warranty. So that manufacturer,
Yeah.
they built it to last, and they wouldn't have done that for the 12-year.
And as far as regular maintenance and servicing, what should homeowners be doing to keep them living longer and running?
I think I know.
Jeff knows this.
Jeff knows.
Jeff knows this.
Clean them every other year. Keep them clean. We have cleaners that go out busy all the time doing that. Just regular service.
Clean the
stuff.
vent, that like the screens, right?
Yeah.
Just like a
so,
lint.
so the homeowner, your responsibility is taking that filter out and cleaning it. I just did mine yesterday. It was overdue.
They get gross.
Yeah, they get
Certain
gross.
times a year too, like when it's dusty out.
Every month, you should be pulling that out, cleaning it off in the stink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm probably
That's
3 or
why
4
it
months.
looks so gross.
Do you have more backs here at your house? I'll come over and just
I can get it
clean
there.
those for you. Okay? And then what we try to do is like restaurants every year, every 6 months, cleaning them up because that's air quality as well.
Yep.
Every other year in a normal residence. So it's half the maintenance that a furnace has, basically.
And when you guys come service, you'll clean the outdoor compressor, correct? And
We take it all
that
apart
good
too.
stuff.
That's the
Yep.
big difference is that it has a 3-layer coil on the outside. So a lot of people think they're going to go, spray it down with a hose. What you're driving that dirt further into the second and third coil. So we have these little pressure washers that are made for heat
Really?
pumps. Yep. So you slide it down. It's a wand. You slide it down and flush it from the inside out.
Yeah.
You can't have the cabinet on it, but you can't spray it on the computer either because it's a big board in there. It's an electronic device.
Yeah.
So hire a professional, guys.
Hire professional. Inside, there's we take off the whole cabinet and this little plastic shroud that goes around it, and then goes into a funnel, then into a bucket, and then we spray that down with the proper chemicals too.
So if somebody's power washing their house, should they be careful when they come up to one of those units?
I would stay away from it and pay the $200. It's $100 per piece, basically,
Yeah.
is what we charge.
So like if somebody's just cleaning their vinyl
you're
house. Okay.
What a lot of people are doing, they're like, oh, I see some grass sprayed on the coil, or they can see dust, and then they're like, go to wash that off, and you're actually driving it further into the
Gotcha.
machine.
So don't directly spray at it, but if you're spraying around it,
Yeah.
it's fine that way.
That's fine.
And then in the wintertime, keep snow off of it, keep snow away from it.
Yep. It defrosts every hour sometimes when it's snowing out, so the water has to be released underneath it and be able to go somewhere, actually. And then the snow coming off your roof is the big one.
Yep.
Being a carpenter and a DIYer, and I built little 2-inch foam boxes around mine that I can bring in with a tractor. Like,
Oh, sweet.
I think they were in my mind, my theory, they do run a little more efficient.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a whole other business. that someone
Keywords
needs to
in his
It's
mind.
like,
You need to do
we need to
that.
talk, right? Because like that little doghouse that goes over there.
Yeah.
Yes, we need
Yeah.
to get him involved in that.
What you say?
She's
Our
saying
heat pump is questionable at best.
Last question is from Ryan Eldridge. I used to go back and forth with our HVAC guy does some stuff with us because my new house, I wanted everything in the walls and
also rough.
roughed in. What are your thoughts? I think if you take the time and do it right, you're fine. Some people are scared to
rough it in.
No, to have everything hidden in the walls.
Oh yeah, that's how.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I would, because I mean that's probably one of the biggest turnoffs, right? Is having that white slim duck or brown or gray, whatever you're gonna get, running up the side of your home. So you've got this brand new house and you've got the slim duct running down. So that's part of our sales process too, is like getting that slim duct in the best location for a retrofit. But new construction, 100%, because guess what can happen? Say that you do have a bad installation, or the company is not Dave's World and they put a union or something in the wall and then that leaks. Worst case scenario, you're going to go back to what you would have done and run it on the outside.
Right.
So it's not a game over type situation when you do have a hidden pipe or something like that in the house. I say bury it and make your house look better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last thing is, the ones you see going outside with the drains, how come they don't freeze all up?
Because they're only draining in the summer for air conditioning.
That's only it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so that 3.3 gallons an hour, that water has to go somewhere. That's coming out of the condensate pump. When it's in heat mode, it's actually reversing. So it's reversing roles. The outdoor unit now is the one leaking, and that's outside.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Learned a lot.
One more question. So, how come the pipe, that copper pipe, it can have such thin insulation running? You know, and there's even spots where it's kind of exposed.
Sure.
Because to me, it just seems so counterintuitive. But...
So I appropriately disagreed with Efficiency Maine on this one because they were like, I appropriately disagreed because they were like, they wanted to cover that last piece of copper, but that whole inside is all exposed copper. That's how we're exchanging heat, right? So it's really not a big deal. You would think that it's not an oil furnace that you're running that heat in.
Yeah.
No, because you have the same amount of heat coming back.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
it's all relative, right? So there is heat loss, but it's so efficient that it doesn't really matter.
I think it's just so hard for all of us.
It really is.
Because we all had wood stoves and we had the old
Right.
furnace. It's
And just old
it's hard
baseboard heat
right.
where, yeah,
Yeah.
exposed piping, it's going to freeze.
That
but...
heat's coming back on the other side. That's why there's two pipes. So
Yep.
when you put those two pipes together, they're almost the same temperature. So they're actually helping each other. And that exposed copper outside is just adding to the other 12 or I don't know, 12, 15 feet copper that's all in that coil.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Great
Science
question.
always wins,
I know.
doesn't it?
Learning all sorts of stuff today.
I mean, I don't know how long your podcasts are today, but we could sit here for another 5 or 6 hours and maybe like 4 or 5 minutes.
No.
We're getting the look.
This is when Maggie grabs the hook.
You're gonna get the hook. But just tell everyone your website again and how to get in touch with you guys.
1-800 heat pump.
1-800 heat pumps our phone number, and wherever you are, it'll get you to the closest store. It knows that has that knowledge, and daysworld.com.
Perfect.
Awesome.
You know, it's a yes.
Yeah.
That's our tagline.
And soon to be in Central Maine somewhere.
And somewhere around
Somewhere
here.
in Central Maine somewhere.
We got to
Nice.
talk to you guys after the
Yeah.
podcast.
Awesome.
Well, Matt and Jeff, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's
Thanks for having
our
us.
pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank
All
you.
right, see ya.
Right? I was trying. Last night I couldn't sleep, and I just kept thinking about Wild Bill and all of his one-liners.
Oh God. Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was a pilot.
He got me. I literally thought because I had this dream of being a pilot. Like,
Didn't you know I was a pilot? My dad would split the wood, and I'd pilot.
But he didn't tell me the punchline for like a couple, or I walked off.
Oh yeah, he loved practical jokes.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And you could never, I could never pull one over on him.
You couldn't?
No, he was just so clever, and always on it.
Would he make you mad back in the day? Was he more of a? He's mellowed out over time. Like someone said, he used to get on. Maybe get Ashley going some back in the day.
Oh, he'd get Ashley going.
Yeah, pretty good.
But he would needle. He knew how to needle people.
Yeah.
And just be relentless. Just get him going. But never really bothered me. You know, grew up working with him. Justin grew up That's how Justin started working with us.
Through Bell.
Yeah. He used to hang out, play ping pong in Bill's garage, and he was like 14, 15, be like, hey, I've got this kid who needs some work.
That's what he says. Neighborhood kids come down and put a power tool in their hand. They'd be happy.
Yeah. But he traveled the world.
Yeah, he had some really. I was in the Navy. Like,
Yeah.
had I seen Bill or known Bill when I was planning what to do in my life, like people that serve our country, it's great to see what they get, like the treatment he got. You know, he was right in Togas.
Yep.
Like he put his time in, and they took care of him. You know, like.
But I mean, he grew up in Whitefield, in an old farmhouse. He used to tell us he knew exactly when he got indoor plumbing, you know, all this stuff. And lived in Chelsea.
Oh, he always had a good joke though.
Oh yeah, always.
I'm just gonna miss Ashley, pulling up with him, because it makes the day more fun, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think she was okay yesterday. She's not doing too good today.
Yeah.
It's kind of hitting her.
Yeah.
So.
It's the end of an era. He was beyond the original Maine Cabin Master.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if people don't, not everyone knows, but he was in the original pilot.
He was. He truly was a pilot.
Oh, Lost Cabin Hunters.
Oh, yeah. He was up north with us, 9 Mile.
Yeah.
He was along for the ride. And that's what he was always along for the ride. As long as I knew him, he never had a driver's license.
Did he and your dad drive across?
Yeah, they drove
Country?
across country to California. I mean, Bill lived out in California for a while. He climbed trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been
He hung out with Jerry Garcia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew I loved him before even because that's the first thing I think Ashley told me. He hung out with Jerry Garcia and has a picture of him.
Yeah. I know, and if we needed anything done, like even last summer, needed some screens painted, bring him over there, drop him off.
Yeah,
we'd send Corbin over to work with him.
I was gonna say I'm gonna kill him, but he's already gone because 2 years ago I started talking to him like, Bill, you got to do your will. You know, you got some things to think about. You got this land. Oh yeah, and I dropped it off. You know, you don't want to push somebody on that.
Of course.
So you guys, you can learn from me. Push them because now, like, we're gonna have to figure out what the heck's going on. You know, like,
yeah, it's never easy.
It's never easy.
Even if everything's all in a row, it's never easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the amount of kids, young people he mentored, and just, you know, in his own way, just taught kids what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good inspiration for people. And I'd love to see like, you know, coming over and getting on Corbin and getting on Cam.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. He loved to know what all you kids were up to, what Seneth was up to, what Ravi was up to, what Ryan was up to.
Well, he'll be looking out for us now, I hope.
He will.
Yeah.
My father's waiting in heaven with a joint. That's what Sarah said.
Yeah, I was trying to lighten it up with Ashley yesterday. So like,
yeah. It takes time.
Yeah, it's different though because Ashley, I think, was like the person they called.
Oh yeah, no.
You know?
I mean, she got extra close to Bill.
Yeah,
after my father passed away.
And we went over there and like, they had just taken him away and, you know, get the cat and stuff. It was pretty emotional, pretty
of course.
weird. Like,
Yeah,
so it's just not to get deep, but remember, life's short, so enjoy your time.
Yep.
And now enjoy this clips of Bill, you know, and like
the best of Bill.
Yeah. Yesterday, she had just called me when doing those repacks, and then he popped up, and I teared up pretty well. Like,
yeah,
it's okay to cry.
Well, no, like I was thinking last time I saw him, he was at the Richardson camp with us.
Yeah.
He just, you know,
walking in today. I was talking to someone like he was just here the other day.
Yeah.
But
just again along for the ride.
I saw in the last 6 to 8 months, like Ash would take him out. He had good days, but he had a lot of bad days. You know, like.
Yep.
So yeah. I hope he's in a better place and smoking a joint with your dad. Sorry, Maggie.
Are you apologizing?
Well, here's to Bill. I'll drink one.
Here's to Bill.
We love you, buddy.
So we are back, and we have with us Wild Bill.
What's up, Bill?
Wild Bill Hiccup.
I call him Billy Sunday.
Yeah, a Monday or Tuesday.
Also known as Duffy.
Yeah, that too.
Been
called a lot worse.
And you will again.
I'm sure.
So we always start out this segment. Would you like coffee, water, or beer?
Water would be fine.
Perfect.
Nice.
I get sprayed.
I'm gonna throw you a curveball and do a water today.
I've got him.
You know, it felt like fall.
Pass that.
Yeah, why? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Pass that.
Thank you. Cheers.
I'm going with a summer down session. It's still summer.
It is still summer.
Screw it.
I gotta go meet a homeowner later, so I can't start drinking now.
Didn't they write a book, Coffee, Tea, or Me?
What's that book?
Did they?
Yeah, in the 70s.
See, I don't trust Bill. He's always got a joke coming. So you don't know when the punchline is gonna hit.
It could take days.
Yeah, take a lifetime. Oh, that's
playing the
what he
playing the long game. Playing the long game.
So we gotta start way back, huh?
Way back.
Yeah, I guess we gotta go way back to the beginning.
How did you meet Eric? Jason
Oh,
Ash's father.
oh, we did some kind of a job together. You know, evidently it turned out right because we stuck together and was friends for 30 years or so, 40.
40 years. And where are you from?
North Whitefield, Maine.
You grew up right down the road from the last camp we just did up right
yeah,
on Clary
yeah,
Lake.
I was born right at home.
Did you ever go to that cabin when it was in service back in the day?
Which cabin?
Oh, there's a little joke that, or a little history that the cabin served $5 jugs of whiskey and a back rub.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Well, I've been to a few of those cabins.
So you
Mostly in Nevada, though.
so you grew up in Whitefield, lived on an old farmhouse.
Yep, born and raised there.
Yep.
Used to go to a one-room schoolhouse.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did the first 4 grades.
Did you really?
It was heated by the wood stove, and we had an outhouse.
Yeah.
You walked uphill both ways, too.
Yeah, yeah.
You had an outhouse in your house too, right?
Used to.
Used to.
Oh, in the barn.
Yeah.
So you grew up on the farm, and then you traveled, right? Went to the Navy?
Yeah, I did 4 years in the canoe club. That was fun. I traveled all through the Mediterranean.
Yeah. But Bill does a lot of our, he's like pretty much our painting shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we bring screens.
Yeah, in the wintertime.
In the
'cause
wintertime.
I got the space in the garage and the heat.
But we bring you screens. You redo a lot of screens, doors, and stuff you can do there.
Yeah, easy stuff for an old man.
Have you always been carpenter, handy and done do-it-yourself stuff?
Not really. I'm just learning. As you can tell by my work.
We should list all the things we've heard that Bill's done in the past.
Oh, gosh. I couldn't name them all.
No.
Navy, you're a seaman.
You were a tree man for a long time.
Yeah, I was a tree climber.
Out west.
Yeah, I did the redwoods and the eucalyptus.
And down in... You didn't live in Florida, did you?
I lived there in the early 70s, right after I got out of the Navy.
Yeah.
You've been a worm digger.
Yeah, been that. Been a boiler man, boiler operator.
In boilers. Did you work at Togus again? Did you say you
Yeah, I worked at Togus for a couple of years. I worked in the paper mills, operating their boilers.
And then you and Eric worked together for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what you classify them kind of jobs are.
I mean, that was anywhere from...
From an outhouse to a shopping center.
Absolutely.
We did it all.
You guys got into some commercial stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Winterization.
Oh, yeah, we got in that insulation.
Yep, cleaning out banks.
Oh,
not,
yeah.
Not robbing them.
Yeah.
Oh, you might want to get out of here.
Yeah, I still got leftover articles from that.
Yeah. You got a old VW van. Is that still full of old books?
Yeah. Well, that's my storage shed.
A mobile library for a while.
Yeah, people want to buy that old van, but I tell them I'm using it for a storage shed. So I traded a guy. I cut a tree down off his lawn for that old Volkswagen. Except the unfortunate error bringing it to me.
Yeah.
Wheel fell off in it.
Yep.
Ran into a car.
Yeah, that was a bad
Were
one.
you guys doing that?
Yep.
You and Ravi?
No, me and my father.
Oh, yeah, dandy duo.
Oh, gosh, that was a bad one.
Yeah, it wasn't a good day. You wasn't smiling when you come over.
No.
So how old was Chase when he first started working with you guys?
Oh, just a teenager, maybe 15,
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, me and Justin. I mean, Justin was...
Yeah,
He was
well,
just a neighborhood
Justin's
little
younger.
punk.
Yeah.
So Justin is Justin Lapointe. Pretty much, I call him the longest employee.
Yeah.
Because he's only worked for your dad.
Second longest.
Yeah.
Second longest. First longest full time.
Yeah, Justin learned a lot. He's come a long way in 20-something years.
Justin does a heck of a job these days. Does a great job.
Yeah, for sure.
So when he was a teenager, he'd come around.
Oh gosh, yeah, I couldn't shake him.
He lived right down the road in Chelsea from you.
Yeah.
And then you were a teenager. You'd work too. You guys.
Yep. You know, same thing. We were just young, didn't know anything.
Full of energy.
Full of energy.
What I find interesting, you guys are always telling me like, oh, you guys worked all over the place. So it wasn't just Augusta. Like it wasn't just one side of the river. Like, oh, we went down to this thing. We tore down this house and we salvaged this house. Like, did your dad have a name from a long time ago being a salvage guy and like saving stuff?
Pack rat.
Is it a network of people? Like,
It was just any opportunity that presented itself. I mean, we did that one salvage job down in Surrey.
Oh, yeah.
We just went right down. It was this old 70s camp right over the water, and we just stayed right in it while we demoed it. The last thing we did was pull out the windows because we couldn't stay there if we didn't pull out the windows.
Yeah, hey, why waste money on a hotel room? You got a camp right there, right by the water.
I like that idea. Get it done.
Yeah.
You get a lot done if you spend the night. Now, did you and Eric drive across the country once, or?
Oh, we did a road trip from here to California and back. Made a bunch of stops on the way.
Nevada.
Yeah, but hey, Eric wasn't a gambler, so he didn't understand, you know. I fell asleep all the way through Reno wasn't I mad, and I woke up and see you didn't stop.
Because you lived in California for a while.
Yeah, I lived there most of the 80s.
Most of the 80s. That must have been a fun time to live in California.
Oh, it surely was. A little culture shock from the backwoods of Maine, but I survived it.
Interesting.
Yep.
So,
You know, I was only like 3 hours from Tahoe, and theoretically, you know, I could have gone skiing in the morning and the beach in the afternoon.
yeah. You were a skier back in the day?
Oh, yeah, I learned. I bought all the gear and went to Tahoe for a week. By the end of the week, I was sore, bruised, and hurt, but I could ski.
That's the way to do it.
That's all that matters, right?
Yeah. You've pulled your fair share of pranks over the years.
No, not I. Not me.
Yeah.
I think your favorite joke is the one we talk. You're like, my dad's a pilot, and I always thought I wanted to get my pilot's license, and I'm like, wow, that's interesting. I guess anyone could be a pilot. No offense, Bill. I was like, yeah, Bill can do it. I can do it. And he goes, yeah, my dad used to cut wood, and I'd pilot. I'm like, you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he still bites on that
Oh,
same
yeah.
one.
Good old one-liners.
Yeah. And a lot of people also don't know that you came with us on the original pilot for the show.
9 Mile.
9
Up
Mile.
to 9 Mile. That was fun.
Yeah, I wonder if that time capsule's still there.
Yeah, I think Martha went up there a couple weeks ago. We were supposed to go up there.
Yeah, I remember that.
I guess a big spruce, big fir fell on the camp,
Really?
but it was 2 live ones, I guess. They fell down. They're on it, but they're like the bottom third is on it. So you can't really just cut it, otherwise it's going to crush it. So
Wow.
I had planned to go up and kind of help take it off, but
Cabin Masters to the
Well, I
rescue.
could watch and direct.
Right,
but,
right, right.
I'm too old and decrepit to climb anymore.
yeah,
I'll go up with you. I want to get back up there.
Yeah, I'd like to go back. I haven't been up there since.
I know.
Was
I
that
know.
6 or 7 years ago?
7.
6?
What's your 6th season? What,
Yeah.
it was before the season.
It feels like it was 20 years ago.
It does.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that original camera crew was different than
Yeah.
the ones you get now.
Yeah, so we replaced you with Ashley, so I'm not sure how that went. Just
no,
kidding.
No, it was
Just
Lance.
kidding,
It was
honey.
Lance.
Yeah, Lance.
Yeah, it was Lance.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
yeah,
Lance.
yeah. Well, she is prettier than me.
I mean, that was quite an experience when you look back on it. We went up there for 3 weeks with at a time. And I mean, people don't know 9 Mile is in the Allegash. And what was it, 5 or 6 hours on dirt roads?
Minimum of 4. If that's just the road's
Minimum
good.
of 4 if the road's good, and the roads were not good.
No, they wanted it.
So we went out for 3 weeks. And Bill was with us. We had a heck of a time. All I can picture is Bill in his one-piece Carhartt suit and a hat.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
a bottle of something right there. Stay warm.
Yeah. You guys gave me the best chauffeur too, Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
I said, slow this down.
You're going to give the old man a heart attack.
I'm hanging on for dear life. He's just cruising down the road.
That was fun. And then since then, you've made a bunch of appearances here and there, and usually helping Ashley and
Yeah.
harassing the rest of us.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's got to have some fun. Hey, and harassing my good friends is fun.
Absolutely.
What do you think Eric would think now of all this?
Oh,
looking
gosh.
down.
Oh, hey, he'd be jealous in hell he's not here with us.
It's true. He'd be out there running the
Oh,
show.
gosh. Oh, he'd be trying to run it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I tell everyone.
He'd be having such a good time.
I mean, he's kind of the main reason, like, because he instilled a lot into you, you know,
Yep.
and
Yep.
Ashley's a lot like you in other ways, and
Well, they're both apples, you know. They don't fall far from the tree.
how has carpentry changed since when you guys started? I mean, it must.
Well, there's a lot of new toys. Like, hey, we didn't have screw guns, you know.
Yeah.
We used a hammer and nail.
I couldn't even imagine.
Oh, I know it.
I couldn't imagine.
Well, it makes it easier to take it apart and put it back together.
True.
No.
True. Very true.
Eric was noted for taking it apart at least twice and putting it back together. That was
Yep.
that's why I didn't like doing stuff. You know, I put something right to specs, just the way he wanted it. Do it this way, do it that way. Okay, get it done. It didn't matter how I did it. He'd still come by and take it apart and do it again.
Boy, couldn't you two fight?
Oh, we get right nose to nose, screaming at
Oh,
each
you
other.
really would.
Hey, we'd forget about it in 2 minutes. You know,
Yeah,
be gone.
Exactly.
That's one thing I like about Maine. 'Cause I think we've talked about this before, but there's always something you can do to be self-employed.
Oh, exactly.
You can go
yeah.
blueberry raking. You can
Yeah.
go worm harvest. You can go smelting. You can get.
Yeah, you can work for cabin masters.
Yeah, you can do that too.
That's always a good gig.
But I mean, you can
You know,
make a
you
living.
might not make much, but you have a good time.
Right.
I think, yeah, I mean, that was definitely my father's,
Yeah, exactly.
you know.
Yeah.
He-
What are some of the craziest things you've seen these guys come home with?
Oh gosh, I couldn't say. You know, it's too many to even think. You know.
But they always come home with more than what they left.
Yeah. Well, years ago, you know, back in the '70s, my friend and I, wives wouldn't let us go to the dump together. You know, we come back with more than we left with. But now they have no dump picking policy, so we can't.
True.
Oh.
All right, so Maggie's giving me the thumbs up. We have some questions for you, Bill,
Oh,
from the
gosh.
fans, so
I'll try to answer them.
try your best.
All right, 1 second.
Do you ever think you'd be on a podcast with Chase?
I never dreamed. Hey, it hasn't been too long. I even knew what a podcast was. I thought it was throwaway peas.
So you have a daughter, Shayna, in Florida.
I do. She's tracking Laura now. The hurricane.
She's a meteorologist, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So she's busy right now.
Oh, very busy.
All right, from Dave. Looking at Ashley trying to cook in the show, besides doing carpentry, was their dad a good cook like others of his generation?
I didn't fully understand. Could you repeat that?
Was my father a good cook?
Oh, excellent. Hey, he cooked something out of nothing, you know.
He could.
Oh, yeah. Well, nothing out of nothing, you know. He cook up an old shoe leather and convince you it tastes good.
Yep.
He was a good cook, huh?
He was good enough.
Yeah, he was. Hey, well, didn't he do that in the
He was
army?
he was in the army. He was a cook, but he also on the like when we'd go stay on these salvage jobs, he was always the one who was
Hey, camping. Oh, gee,
cooking
he
up
was-
the storm.
Wasn't happy unless he was doing something. I mean, I never see a man that couldn't sit still. I mean, just sitting still was
Painful.
not. Oh, it was painful to him to sit still.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm beginning to like it.
Okay. This is from Laura. Where did the name Wild Bill come from?
I don't know. I think it was your uncle tagged me with that. You know, Wild Bill Hiccup.
All right. One last question, I think. This question's from Gail. Was Ashley bossy when they were growing up?
Oh, she tries to be, but it doesn't work with me. You know, I'm not like her significant other that she has twisted around her little finger.
Oh God. No comment.
I can't be the yes dear man.
That is the
Some
truth.
Some folks can.
Poor Ashley.
Bill gives it right back to Ashley better than anybody
Oh,
I've
yeah,
ever met.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, well.
I think we were filming.
Take pride in that.
Yeah, but 90% of it just joking anyway.
Doesn't matter. It's
But I
great.
know it. I know I'm peeing in the wind. Trying to correct her.
I think it was last summer you guys were filming somewhere, and you guys have been in. She picked you up. You guys in the car all day and having fun and fun. And finally, I need a break from Bill, and you're like, I need a break from that Brad.
Well, I get tired of arguing about the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But we can always find something to argue about.
Yep.
True.
And we'll be seeing you more this season, I'm sure, doing
I
some
hope so.
guest
I hope so.
appearances.
Yeah.
We'll keep the work headed your way now that we're heading into cooler weather. Get you.
Yeah, it's always fun to get out on the job site.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And to take the pressure off me with Ashley, so I'll be calling you soon.
Yeah. I'll tell her some good stories about you.
All right, Bill. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you,
My
Bill.
pleasure.
Yep.
Hey,
We'll,
been a good day.
we'll work with you soon.
All right.
how awesome that, he's on the show and he came and he's quite a character. Like his legacy.
Yes, he was a character. And he was so proud of all of us.
Yeah.
And he enjoyed it. He loved being around it. And again, him and my father and everybody, Ricky Pomo, they were all doing this. They were the originals. He joined us for Lost Cabin Hunters. He was a huge part of it.
Yeah, and you were telling me today about him and Justin, your dad, sleeping in houses when you demoing.
Oh yeah.
He had a lot of one-liners and a lot of stories.
Yeah, and again, it's kind of like the same way we have, documentation of what we've done with the kids growing up. Bill's a part of that as well. So
yeah. We're glad to have him. Glad to have known him.
Yeah, we're gonna skip trivia this week.
We'll skip it. Trivia in honor of Bill.
Even though he loved his trivia.
Yeah, and we'll come up in our final episode here. So yeah, another season flying by.
We're gonna do our wrap up, and then we'll be back. But thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Matt and Jeff. And we always want to thank our sponsors: Hammond Lumber Company, Nelma, Hero Media Network, Kennebec Savings Bank, and From the Woodshed. We'll be talking to you, Bill.
See you, buddy.
From the Woodshed has been brought to you by Nelma. See the stamp, trust the quality. Hammond Lumber, your building project partner. Kennebec Savings Bank, helping our local community save, thrive, and grow for over 150 years.